Hello everybody and welcome to Casual Shenanigans episode 14. Please stand by while we invite absolutely everybody back onto the call because we broke Google+. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to start inviting people. And
don't worry, I'll fill the dead air with
my co-host. Why don't you vamp for a little bit?
Oh no, dead air! What do I do? Yeah, so it looks like Google Plus updated like yesterday, of course, yesterday, and everything appears to be wonderfully broken. So that's very exciting. Thanks, Google.
Yep, we've tried to host this call several times, and it is not working.
We have a good-sized group tonight, too.
Yeah, now it is working, so, yeah. Welcome, everybody who's not currently watching live, but all of you listeners, welcome, just so you know. This doesn't normally go this poorly.
Although, speaking of the size of our group tonight, I notice how, as soon as the topic is about looting, everyone just shows up. Like, what? Loot?
Is it working?
It is working. We are currently live, and I just tweeted the link out.
All right.
Awesome.
So, I also invited Steve. Let me invite James. Once we're live, I don't know if we can kick us out. Okay, everyone, wait, since we are live, people introduce yourselves. I'm JERMgaming, one of your hosts. Welcome to Casual Shenanigans 14, a podcast all about Battlefield, DayZ, and all things PC gaming related. I'm one of your hosts, JERMgaming. I'm joined by Dave.
I can't go that fast.
Okay,
hey
I'll do it for you.
Betting?
Hey guys, it's Dave, the not so evil Viking 13. We're also joined by Joel. Hey guys, and Joel's wife, Joy. Hi, Joy.
Wait, no, Jeremiah, you have to let Joel do his hey guys. He has to do his hey guys.
Okay, all right.
Joel, hey please.
Guys.
Hey guys.
All
there
right.
It is. Now it's official.
All right, and we are joined by friend of the podcast, James. We are joined by Steve. We're joined by Steve.
Hey,
Say hi,
sorry,
Steve.
I just got in.
Yeah, check your settings, Steve.
There we go. Sorry.
And
Check your batteries.
hopefully we'll be joined by Chris in just a minute. So while we're getting going here, Dave, there's been a tiny bit of DayZ news, and you're probably the only person who thinks that's enough news to get excited over, and I'm sure you're already excited. So why don't you tell us what's new in DayZ?
Wow, I feel kind of on the spot here, but I wasn't actually that excited.
Oh, really? Oh, then tell us why. Why aren't you excited?
Well, I mean, Dean is still away at Everest. He's actually making his summit hike next week. They're leaving the last base camp today. So it's been pretty quiet on the home front. You know, he has a whole team working away, but they're kind of just buttoned down, focusing on working on the game and not posting updates. Seeing Rocket kind of always led that kind of thing. They had some updates from PAX, actually from March. They posted some videos from that, but we've seen most of those. And that's some great interviews and all, but nothing really new. There was a kind of a cool photo post if you're into this kind of thing. I enjoy level design and all that kind of stuff, and the team actually went out to the area of the Czech Republic that Chernarus is actually modeled off of, and they have some side-by-side comparisons for some new areas in DayZ, showing the actual real-life apartment buildings compared to the ones in DayZ, and that's pretty cool to see. Especially seeing for their overall satellite imagery, they actually used real satellite pictures of this area and then modeled the ground stuff to be very, very close to it. So it's kind of eerie. You know, they're driving around and it's like, oh, by the way, guys, here's the road to Starry Sobor, and it's like a side-by-side comparison, and it's actually the road, like the hill is the same, the tree line is the same. It's kind of weird, actually.
So that's all the stuff that Bohemia puts time into, not making the game run well, but it's exactly correct.
Maybe that's why it doesn't run well. And there's a current conspiracy theory, and this is just kind of fun.
Conspiracy theory.
It's like a Half-Life 3 style conspiracy theory. Like the amount of dissecting that goes on with everything that gets posted is hilarious. They posted a brief interview with Ivan, who is the map design consultant for DayZ. And he talks a bit about the map design, and that's a pretty cool interview, pretty short. But at the very end, a bandit / coworker comes up behind him and mugs him as he's saying the lines somewhere along the lines of, "Hopefully you guys can join us in the new map next week," and then he gets like mugged.
Oh,
so it could be next. He could be saying next week, or maybe he just misspoke and meant to say next month. But there's currently plenty of theories flying around that it's coming out next week. Rocket's going to release DayZ from the peak of Mount Everest. That would be epic. Like, I would probably freak out a little bit just because that's awesome.
Yeah, that does sound like it's pretty awesome.
We crown him like the king of game developers at that point, I think. Oh, hail Lord Rocket! But yeah, that's the basic Daisy news. Not a whole lot going on, but just some cool stuff. If you guys
just climbing Mount Everest, that's all.
Yeah. Okay, nothing going on the home front. I think Rocket has plenty going on. Yeah, at that highest point on Earth.
Yes. So we are still trying to get Chris into the podcast. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time over here trying to manage that.
You know, speaking of issues with getting Chris and Steve into the same connection, didn't we have some network problems with him and Arma 2? Or was it Arma 3?
Well, it's Arma 3 as well. Yeah, that's a nice Arma problem. Arma won't let two people on the same IP subnet, as far as I can tell. It won't let them both join a game. One of them can host a game, but I don't know. It's dumb.
I wonder if that's a similar issue that we're having right here.
Hey Joel, how did you search for this and join it live? Chris doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating. If you go to just the main Google Plus main page, by the top of your name, I mean that there's a little like, you know, notification, and you can get to that by right there, or on the right side. I think the new layout's pretty bad because it's hard to tell what it is. But there should be a little green icon with Jeremiah's name on it and a little question mark, but it should be green. And if you click on that, and on the bottom you should be able to click on reply, and then you'll jump right in, I believe.
As all the viewers now join the call. Don't worry, guys, just pile on in. There's room for everyone.
We couldn't do it with 7, but we did it with 46.
So Chris, he can see the Hangout, he just can't join it.
Man, that's really weird.
Everything's really weird. This is going so smoothly tonight.
1970s modem tone over my headphones.
Yeah, same here. 1970s modem? What modem were you using?
Have you seen the movie War Games? Did you have to use the phone on the thing to dial in?
Is that how you're connecting in, James?
Oh! Only the finest in modem technology.
You know, like, in like a couple years, no one's gonna be able to actually play games with each other anymore. Like, you're gonna have to live in Tokyo, and one's gonna have to live in America so you can play together because the IP connections will be too close. It's like, sorry, you live in the same country.
Is that how that works?
We do not allow this. You
Is that your
could be
prediction,
sharing
Joel?
the game.
Can we write this down?
That's my prediction. Sorry, you're gonna have to move to the next state to play a game with your friend because you might be sharing that game. Freaking DRM.
All right, well, I think we're just going to have to move on, and if Chris can join, but otherwise, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, Chris, because you're probably watching this right now, but...
It's like the rainy window pane, you just press up against it. Like, guys, are you in there? Let me in.
Here, while we cover the next topic real quick, Steve, if there's anything you can do to help him or get him in the same room so he can hear, I guess do it. Otherwise, I don't know what we're going to do.
Okay.
But anyway, all right, so real quick, before we move on to our main topic this evening, the reason we've assembled all of you together, we have a tech question. You can send your tech questions into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. And the question comes from someone whose name I can't find, the Phil. It comes from the Phil, and I just got a little ding like someone's trying to join. I wonder if that's Chris.
Yeah, I got
Dang,
that.
yeah.
That was loud.
Yeah, he's saying, "Hey guys."
Oh, is he in chat?
Yeah,
I don't see him in chat.
He's in the other chat from the other call.
I don't understand any of this.
Oh wow, there's like 3 calls in the background of my Google Plus.
All right, we're just gonna move on with this question. So he has a Predator G5 910. I'm assuming that's some sort of pre-built gaming desktop with an i7 2600 and a Radeon HD 6870, 8 gigs of RAM, 750 watt power supply. I'm assuming he means watt. And he's looking to upgrade his graphics card. Which one would you recommend within a reasonable price? So he's got a 6870. Joel, what would you recommend?
Joy, take it away.
Oh yeah, because I'm an expert on this. So I can tell you exactly which one you want.
All right.
Sure.
What you want to do is you want to take the back of your TV, just disassemble that back panel, and then you can take that LCD thing and then you shove it in the back of your PC, and it gives you more pixels for your buck.
Now you may have to weld that actually. Maybe some welding involved. But don't
okay, Dave. We'll move on. Dave.
It's Chris.
Oh, wait. Here comes Chris. Everyone, get ready to say hi to Chris. Wait for it. Wait for it. Still waiting for it. Hey!
Hi, Chris. Yay!
I can't see your webcam, but I'm glad your voice is here. Okay, everyone, welcome Chris to the podcast. So, Chris, we've already talked about the DayZ news. There really isn't any. And we're answering a tech question from this guy who has a i7 2600 and a Radeon 6870, and he's asking for a graphics card upgrade for a reasonable price. So, what do you think?
Huh. Well, I don't have a good answer to that.
Okay.
I haven't been in the market for a little while, so.
Did I tell you what I did on the on r/build a PC for me?
No.
Uh-oh.
I got banned.
Oh, really?
I built a separate account. I was just in a real trolling mood because everyone, like, if you haven't been there, go to Reddit/build a PC or build a PC for me, and it's people like coming up with builds for other people who don't know what they're doing. Like, people say, hey, I've got $1,000, what's the best build I can do? The problem is there's this big hive mind where if you suggest like a $1,000 build that does not include an i5 3570K and a 7970, you are apparently a moron. There's no room for like just creative outside of the box. Like, everyone wants the standard parts or they yell at you. So I made an account, and I went on, and someone was willing to spend $2,500. So I told him to get a Titan, a Celeron dual core, 2 gigs of memory, and then 4 80-gigabyte hard drives to run in a RAID 0 for his boot drive.
Wow.
And then like a $300 case and a 1,200-watt power supply. Within 2 minutes, I had a message in my inbox saying, "You've been banned from posting an r/build-a-PC for me." So I still use my main account to help people, but I don't know. I just got irritated. Anyway,
I do kind of appreciate that $1,000 graphics card paired with the top CPU technology of 2004. That's pretty great.
No, it was a dual core. It wasn't 2004. It's like 2006.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it was.
I went on that Reddit once. I think it's completely useless. It reminds me of trying to asking people's opinions to buy a car because everyone is so freaking different.
Well, no, the main
definitely buy this car. No, don't you dare buy that car.
The main advantage is you get a comparison shop. Like 4 or 5 people will post a build, and then you get to kind of.
Not if you're new though. If you're new, do not go there.
Well, maybe
you'll get lost.
The key to the post, Joel, is when you post it, you've got to explain what you're going to use it for, and you'll get better answers that way.
Yeah.
If you just post a money amount, everyone's going to be arguing. But if you say, like, I want to do medium PC gaming on a 720p screen and Facebook, you'll get more advice.
But I mean, how do you know if you're going to get actually really good advice? You don't really know.
I've seen good results.
Guy who just loves giving advice.
Well,
but, I mean, if you're new, how are you going to know if you're getting good advice?
That is a very valid point. And then also, another thing people get really upset about is if you recommend DDR 1333 instead of DDR 1600, people take it as like a personal offense. And I have never found a single benchmark that shows like any real difference between DDR 1333 and DDR 1600. I went from DDR2 800 megahertz to 8 gigs of that to 16 gigs of DDR3 1600 megahertz, and I had literally no performance difference in anything. Like, the only difference was I had more memory.
Isn't the main advantage that it gives you more room, like, overhead for overclocking?
Supposedly, but I mean, how far do most people overclock their memory anyway? You don't need to with most modern chipsets.
That's the question. Like, at which point do you actually run into that ceiling?
Yeah. So anyway, back to this poor guy's question. If you have a 6870, I'd recommend a Radeon 7950. I had a 6870. I went up to a 7950. It was about a 30% performance increase, and then I overclocked it, which these cards overclock really easily. And that got me like another 25% performance increase, and I can actually still push my card a little farther. I just don't need to because at the resolution I'm playing at 1080p, like, it doesn't matter if I make the memory any faster. It can't, like, this resolution can't use it. with the current games we have. So
for the sub $300 price point, I would have to agree with you. I think that's really, I mean, as far as a card that's up at the top of the charts right now, that's really the one to go for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm extremely happy with mine, especially if you get it with the AMD Never Settle Reloaded bundle that gives you like 4 or 5 free games. That's not too bad. So yeah, I would recommend that. That's a good thing. I mean, your processor is good enough. You're not going to have to worry about upgrading that for years. So anyway, yep. So yeah, that is all our tech questions for this podcast. Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you all later. No, we actually have a topic to talk about tonight, which actually Joel suggested. So I'm going to let Joel take it away with absolutely no warning or preparation. Joel, go.
Okay, so tonight, and this is why I have my wife on the podcast.
No, you have her on because you love her and you love spending time with her. I'm helping you out there.
You talk like you know her. I know.
Or I know all wives. I'm married too. She's wearing headphones, so I can say this. She can't hear me.
That was really creepy.
It's not creepy. All right, so Joel, anyway, I'm done interrupting.
Anyways, so my wife is awesome because she does like to play games, which is amazing. As opposed to James's wife, she does not like playing games.
Where's the little graphic filter here? The little blurry thing.
No, the games that Joey really likes to play are games that don't really involve platforming. Any kind of like tactical jumping, tactical shooting.
Jumping is very bad.
So she loves the Lego games. She likes Lego games. Any kind of game that involves collecting, looting, that's simple. Like the quests are generally easy. So she's played through both Lego Star Wars, I think Lego Indiana Jones, both the Harry Potter ones, the Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean.
There's a lot of Lego games.
I know. And she 100%'s them.
Whoa, every single one?
Every single one. I think she's done 3 now or something like that. Or very close. And so my question was, this kind of podcast was basically about looting. And anyways,
hey,
so
I recommend DayZ, no jumping and looting.
It's got
there's
its own
tactical
set of
shooting in that.
And it's got the whole fun, 45 minutes of, wait, no, out of date. Okay, this server's down. Okay, I'm in, but I'm stuck on a black screen. Okay, I'm in. Where are you? Okay, you don't know either. Cool. I'm gonna run for the water. I'll see you in 3 hours. Isn't this fun?
See you guys. Go
I bet
to bed
the Lego
later.
games are you turn them on, it's instantly bright lights and colors and music. Fun.
Exactly.
So the first question is, are you a completionist, and why are you a completionist? So I say we just start from the left so we can go with Chris.
Yeah. That happened to everyone else too.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
So the first question is,
do we wait for him to come back, or we just move
Probably
on?
waxing poetic right now.
I'll ask the question, and we'll just start answering. We'll just go down the line.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris. You're always. I don't know why you always end up on that side.
because my name starts with a C.
Oh yeah, that actually makes sense. So anyway, question number 1 was, are you a completionist, and why?
I would say that yes, I am a completionist. It does have its bounds.
Hey Joel, we moved on without you.
That's good. That's good.
I just asked Chris the first question, so
Cool. We saw the lights flickering in our house a little bit ago, so we might die.
Wait, I'm not too far away from you guys.
Yeah, but you're busy right now, Dave.
What? So I can't die?
You can't help Joel. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. I'm a completionist, not in I'm going to go around and get all the collectibles, but I do want to see every story path usually, and kind of every main avenue, every area of the game. So often I'll save at crucial points and replay things so that I can experience both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you even do the quests that you really don't want to do, but you do it because you want to just complete it?
Yes. Depends on the game, but Skyrim, yes.
So what makes you that person? Why do you do those extra quests that are not really fun and they're almost boring, but you do it just so you can say, I did it?
I would say it's curiosity and perfectionism.
I lived with him for 3 years. It's the last one.
Yeah, this is true.
So, Dave, how about you?
You know, I used to be a horrible completionist back when, when I was a kid, and I bought like 2 games at yard sales a year. I would just play them over and over again and find everything. But Steam has kind of ruined me, actually. I'm still a completionist for some of my favorite games, like any of the Stalker series, or even some of the Elder Scrolls and stuff like that. Like, where I've been waiting for it for maybe a year or two. When it comes out, I've got to find, if not everything, almost everything. I gotta see everything that there is to see. I gotta try it all. Now, the exception for me has become Steam sale games. Like, if I pay $5-10 for a game, I'm like 8 hours in, and I get easily distracted by the next shiny sale, I'm okay with not completing those.
Yeah, tell us what games, you told me like a month ago or 2 months ago, what games are you technically playing right now?
I've actually got Steam open right now. Currently playing Borderlands 2. I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for about 3 years now. Skyrim. I beat Far Cry 3, actually. Playing Max Payne 3.
Did you beat Max Payne yet?
No, I'm about 3 hours in.
I beat it last weekend.
Yeah, you're not going to finish it.
It's only actually, like 7 hours long.
Oh, well, I'm pretty good to go then. Yeah, that's actually about it for right now. I've beaten a couple recently.
Okay. Last time I talked to you, you still had like Sleeping Dogs on the list.
Oh, yep, there's Sleeping Dogs right there.
Okay, still on there. Cool.
I actually uninstalled all 30 gigs of Rage just because I wanted to play it occasionally, but I couldn't excuse the 30 gigs it was taking up for an occasional
that's a lot.
game.
That's me with DayZ. I like uninstall it like
you've uninstalled it like
week.
5 times. We're like, hey Joe, why don't you play with us? We're like, I got rid of it because I have no room in my hard drive.
I know, because I just don't want to play it until the new game comes out.
But then every couple months you come crawling back.
Yeah, because I'm a nice guy and I'll play with you guys.
Right. Delete some of those
to
Lego
make your guys'
save files.
series fun.
Okay, James, how about you?
I am not a completionist, but I will try to do every quest in certain games.
So you're making the difference. Sorry, you're making the difference.
I'm not a completionist. I don't go for trophies or achievements or anything like that, and I don't have to get every single piece of loot item like I can or whatever.
But you try.
I try. A lot of inventory management, I must say.
But so you try to get all the main quests and everything, but
no,
you don't.
I do all the quests.
All the quests. Okay, so all quests, but not like all the stupid find 200 red leaves.
I'll do a couple of those, and then I'm just like, those aren't gonna get me any extra loot for doing that. But like Kingdoms of Amalur.
There it
Joel's
is.
playing through that now.
There it is.
I put probably 97 hours into that, just walking around and doing quests and stuff.
Actually, James, you mentioned achievements. That's actually a pet peeve of mine. Like, in most cases, I really dislike achievements. I want to see all the stuff that's actually content in the game, but I don't want these kind of breaking the fourth wall achievements that pop up. I don't like those at all.
Yeah, most of my achievements, I'm like, oh, I got an achievement. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
I don't actually work towards them at all. It's just like, oh, yep, there's one. Go away.
Broke my concentration.
I'm busy looting. Go away, achievements.
Can I spin you in a store? No.
I would say that I used to be a completionist, but like Dave, that was back when I got one game every couple years. Like Lego Island, I did every single thing there was to do in Lego Island. In Age of Empires, I did every single thing there was to do in Age of Empires. I'm trying to think, what are some of the other games I had? Frogger 2. Did everything there was in Frogger 2.
What was there to do in Frogger 2?
I went up the street.
There were time trials.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
And I did everything. The last game I did everything in was SSX 3 for the GameCube.
Wow.
Steve, are your birds making noise again?
No, that one's not me this time.
Oh, okay. Someone else has. What are the odds that we have multiple people with birds sitting
I
right next to
closed
me?
my window.
It's kind of pleasant, actually.
Can everyone else hear birds, or am I going crazy?
I hear birds.
I hear
Okay.
birds too.
Okay, so everyone hears birds, but no one knows where the birds are coming from.
That is correct.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not birds and just echo or something. It sounds like
No,
birds.
it's definitely birds.
That's definitely birds.
Good job.
I'll see whose mic it comes through. I'm gonna make a note. At 33 minutes, someone's mic has birds. And I'm gonna call you. We're gonna talk about it.
Oh, it was Chris. He's got his window open.
Ah, Chris.
I didn't see my mic turn on, but okay.
I was a completionist back when I didn't have that many games, and I think games have gotten a lot worse with the random stuff for you to do. Like in SSX, you could unlock all the outfits, all the people, and all the and you had to get all the big X's on the mountain. But that was it. Maybe 50, 60 hours, you did everything. And now it seems like games just have a ridiculous amount of things. Like Far Cry 3, you have to find all the jewels on the island, which the minimap tells you where they are. So really, it's just going around and collecting them all, which is like the dumbest grind quest ever. But yeah, anyway. So I don't really, same reason as Dave, we get too many games through Steam sales now.
So here's the question though. When you are staring one in the face, do you pick it up or do you walk on? When it's a game you've decided you don't care.
Sometimes I pick it up. I pick it up if it's convenient or if it gives me money. If it gives me money, I'll pick it up. But I won't go out of my way to pick it up. Because most games, you start picking up this loot and you're like, I have to hold on to this money, gotta save my money, gotta blah, blah, blah. And then midway through the game, you're just rolling in money and because you found the gun you want or whatever and you don't care anymore. And maybe that's just me, but pretty much every game that has money in it, I finish the game with thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a
Grand Theft Auto 4,
I
I played almost all the way through with just the Glock you get near the beginning. I had I think hundreds of thousands of dollars by the end. Actually, yeah, that's probably the last game I played pretty much everything in was Grand Theft Auto 4, but yeah. Don't have as much time to do it either. So, Joy, how about you?
Hold on, before we move on, I have this problem when we're playing something like Skyrim or something, like Fallout New Vegas, and I get impatient collecting stuff, so I'll find a way to cheat, which, when I played New Vegas on the PS3, you could basically, I played on the Xbox, and you could roll back the update, and you could go to this casino and keep exchanging money and just keep tripling, doubling, your money. And I had $2 million that I couldn't spend, but I still collected everything. But it let me buy everything I wanted, so it was a new way to collect.
I did that in Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2. There's this one rally race where you could do it. You could do this tournament as many times as you wanted, and they'd keep giving you this prize car every time. So it was 2 races. I could do it in about 20 minutes, and it would give me a $300,000 car, which I could just sell. So I would spend maybe an hour or 2 a day for over a month just doing that tournament over and over and over. So then, if you've ever played Gran Turismo, you know that every time you enter a new car class, you have to get a new car, and it gets pretty expensive. So I had enough money I could get a new car and then buy all the engine mods, which it turns out is a terrible way to play Gran Turismo because it's realistic. I'd have some 1970s Alfa Romeo with 700 horsepower, and it can't turn or stop.
It's so fast.
So it turns out that didn't really work, but yeah.
Speaking of abusing the Bethesda games, the only cheat that I use in Skyrim, the only one that I didn't play legit was I used a console command to increase my carry weight, and from there it just kind of steamrolled out of control.
I need to learn this.
No, don't break the game.
I remember once when Chris used console commands in Skyrim.
Oh, that was great. I'd beaten it though.
My current carry weight in Skyrim is I think 1600, and I need to increase it again actually because I'm full. I have a complete set of armor for different areas of the map, like warmer clothes.
Why
don't
you just take stuff? Why don't you just put stuff in a house and then come back to it?
I get way too into it. I feel like I need to dress for the occasion and be these the legit armors for dragon fights and yeah.
Oh, hold on! I'm being attacked. Let me change.
Dragon approaches.
I need my dragon armor. Where did I put it in my giant sack here? Hold on just a minute, guys. I gotta dig out my armor. It'll be a few minutes.
Oh my gosh.
For a while, I used Lydia as a pack mule. I used a console command on her, and she carried all my crap, and it was taking too long to get it out of her inventory.
What are you holding up for us?
Nuka-Cola.
You're holding up your Nuka-Cola. Thank you, James.
Yes. I have to show my loot off.
Ah, okay. All right, Joy. Let's desperately try to keep this moving along. Joy, are you a completionist?
I would say I am when it comes to easy games, like the Lego games or like Fable 3, those types of games. I really like because I actually can finish them. So I'm pretty proud that I actually finished a game, and I do like the achievements. I am one of those people. I do like them.
But is that playing on the PC or like on an Xbox?
On the Xbox.
Okay, so you've got your gamer score to worry about, which I hear is a real big thing for console gamers.
Sure. But I do like seeing the little like icon that pops up like, oh, you got 100% on Lego Harry Potter. Like, I totally, I'm that person. But if it's like a harder game, then I don't even bother because I know I can't get them. Especially like Joel said, I can't jump in games like to save my life.
There's like a great treasure
called, like,
just above my head.
Or yeah, like you have to like get like 1 billion kills in a certain situation or whatever. I know I can't do it, so I just don't even try.
Did you do any of the cheats in Fable?
I didn't know any of the cheats, and I was so mad.
Why would you need to cheat in Fable? Fable is so easy.
I was so mad because I was like almost at the end, and I was trying to get all the achievements, and then our Xbox crashed, and I lost the whole save. So I need to start that one over and get all the achievements.
On Fable 3, if you start the second character, you could exchange gifts back and forth, and then they would drop out, and then it would just like keep multiplying. It would double. So you would just keep giving money to yourself over and over and over again until you just had like unlimited money.
That's like the arrow glitch in what was it, Oblivion, where like if you selected something in your inventory and then you selected an arrow and then like really quick switched out of your inventory and shot the arrow, it would shoot like all the first item you selected all over the ground. Or something I can't remember, but it was something like, or you dropped arrows.
I used to go into small little markets, like there's small little houses where the guy's like selling armor and stuff. He's like, hey yo, and I shot an arrow that shoots out a bazillion of watermelons. It was so many, it crushed the guy to death. And I stole whatever I wanted and I ran out. It was so funny because the guards, they come in, they're like, hey, what are you doing? Like they're gonna arrest you, but they like come in, they're like trying to walk through all the watermelons. You see the guy, they're like filling up like this, and he just does good, and he just like dies underneath them.
And then Dave runs up and starts collecting them all.
Look at all these watermelons. What if we need them later?
Don't you judge me.
Joy and I, we play Borderlands on PS3, and that's a lot of fun. But it's hilarious because I do all the shooting and Joy does all the collecting. Just like right behind me. I'm like, there we go. It's awesome when we kill like the big bosses, like the loot just sprays out like blood. I just like sit, I don't even pick up anything. I just watch. You see Joy just like running along the trail, just collecting everything.
She's like one of the nurses in old Battlefields. Like after the battle, she runs out and starts stripping the dead down, saving up all their stuff.
Yep, that's me.
This gun's still good.
So, Joel, are you a completionist?
What?
Are you a completionist?
Am I a completionist? No, not really. I love doing as many quests as I can. I mean, I'd say Fallout 3 is probably the biggest game I really would complete all the quests, except for Amalur right now. Kingdoms of Amalur, I'm doing freaking everything. I'm even doing the fetch quests, just the ones that you just like collect like 50 dandelions. I don't even understand because like the story in the game, I have no idea what's going on. There's like elves and crap and stuff, but it's just like give me a quest, I'll go run and do it.
But the thing about that game is you walk into a town and there's just you're like, I'm in the middle of this quest, and all of a sudden you see these little exclamation points. There's 5 more quests here. There's 5 more quests there, and they just keep multiplying and multiplying.
I was laughing. There was one guy who was like fumbling through a city, like bleeding to death, just blood spraying out of his arm. It's hilarious. He's like, help me. But then he stops the chat for like 20 minutes, and he's like, go into this cave. I'm like, dude, you probably should. Hey, I think Jeremiah just disappeared.
Keep going.
Yeah, he froze up a while back.
We're all off air.
Finish the story of the bloody guy. I want to hear how this ends.
We'll keep continuing. Anyways, so the guy's like talking for 20 minutes and the blood's just spraying out during the thing. It's funny because like he has an animation of like hobbling, but as soon as you talk with him, he just stands up straight, like totally fine.
Yeah. Joel, obviously your character is so inspiring that he overcame that pain to talk to you.
So I go through the quest, I come back with some magical ring that's supposed to help him. I give it to him, or I think I gave it to him. I don't know. But at the end, I finished the quest. And he's like, "Thank you, chap," and he starts walking away, and he's still bleeding. Like nothing happened. I'm like, and then he came back to the same town, and he's still bleeding. So I think that's either a glitch or, but oh well, he gave me gold.
I'm feeling better.
Just a scratch.
No, but I like in Skyrim and stuff. I don't even check treasure chests anymore. I don't even care. I just run right past them because I don't really care for the gold because there's not much you can use with gold in Skyrim anymore. At least that I found. I don't really upgrade weapons. I don't know if I play the game correctly. But if it's a game I really like, I'll try to do as much as I can. But even in Bioshock Infinite, I hated all the looting in the game. That was my least favorite part. Just because I thought it detracted from the game, from all the beauty of the game, where you're just constantly looking down the ground and collecting trash and hot dogs and stuff.
We see beauty in different ways, Joel. Okay.
I know, yeah.
I know. I found beauty at the bottom.
One man's trash is my loot.
I know that I found beauty at the bottom of every single container that I found in that game.
It's empty. It's beautiful.
I played Borderlands with Dave, and I would have to like force him to move to the next area because he just kept on sweeping it like a SWAT team or something. Like every little tiny bit of loot.
I believe you would actually.
Dave is the worst.
You would actually force teleport me, Joel. Like I'd still be looting. You'd be like, "Screw you!" and like enter a door and like drag me along with you.
This is what Dave is like. This is what Dave is like. We were playing DayZ, and we were playing on the server that we filmed Breaking Bad on. And on that server, there is a military encampment just north of Cherno. Literally a 5-minute run north of Cherno. And if you're in a vehicle, it's like a 1-minute drive north of Cherno. And this camp is full of AK-47s in various different, configurations. Some with big scopes on them, some stock, some with grenade launchers. Like, pretty much all the weapons you want are 2 or 3 minutes away. And Dave would still want to cruise all around the map, checking every single stinking down. Like, I'd be like, "Hey, all right, let's go kill people." This is pretty much our conversation every night. "Hey, I really just want to go, like, kill people." And Dave was like, "Okay, I was thinking we could hit up these tree stands, and then we can go to the Bologna, and then we can go to the Polana grocery store because we need food. And then maybe we can swing back down the coast road." And I'm like, "Hey, why don't we go find people and shoot them?" And Dave is like, "Maybe, but see, I was thinking, there's this loot.
What if we just start to loot, like, just like on the way, just real quick.
And I'm like, "We have unlimited guns. They're right over there. We can just go get them. We don't need more guns."
Real life Dave. I want you to be like, Joe, stop. I saw a trash can. Stop.
It's like shopping with my in-laws when we go, like they come in from out of town and they want to go down to like the ocean front and they have to look at every little stupid shop on the way. I'm just like, the cool beach is over there. Look at this little jug.
But tourist traps.
Steve, what about you?
Yeah, if it's a game I'm really into, I do tend to be. I'm finding with Skyrim, Dave has become my role model pretty much.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
He got another one.
I started playing and I realized, I was stripping bodies of everything every time I came across people and I killed them. And I made a rule not to steal anything. And then at one point I couldn't run and I realized it was because I was carrying too much. So I got a companion and gave it all to him. And tonight I was playing and realized I was carrying too much again and spent 10 minutes trying to figure out what I could possibly part with from my pack.
You guys know that there are houses that you can put things in, right?
But then your loot's so far away from you then.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need a house in the game. You can just put it on the ground and it'll be there front.
But I mean, I check everything, clear every room, every body, and it's painful to have to leave loot behind. But and I'm barely into the game because I've spent so much time playing side quests and I haven't done the main quest.
Are you one of the looters who will like pick up little pewter bowls because they're worth 1 gold?
Yes, yeah. Well, tonight I actually finally stooped to stealing because I saw malachite and it looked pretty, and so I stole it because no one was looking. So.
It was pretty.
And I had to drop things to do that.
I'm a litterer. Do you guys litter in the game? I litter like so much. I'm like I go to is it Riften, and I just drop everything. And I'm like, and it stays there. It's so funny. I think that's why like the Xbox is like loading slower now.
Yeah, I would think so.
There's just like armor everywhere. People just like walking through it.
Could you imagine walking through downtown and like, hey, someone left an AK-47 sitting on the ground?
I want to live in that world.
It's called Africa. Move there.
Or Detroit.
Or Chicago.
I got some more questions if we want to move on.
Actually, I wanted to make a note. Steve, you mentioned about how much time you were spending like trying to sort through your pack there in Skyrim. That's actually when I finally broke and started using the console command just to increase my carry weight, because I'm like, for every hour of gameplay that I'm like actually doing quests, I'm spending about 20 minutes going back to a house, even fast traveling, and then sorting through loot. I'm like, I'm tired of sorting. I'm just gonna freaking carry it all.
And we need to talk about mature
decision.
But then how do you find what you need when you want it?
You just carry a couple good weapons and you get over it.
Okay, actually, this is actually, I have a solution for that too, and this is getting pretty extreme now. I found a really awesome UI mod. You know how
Sky UI?
Actually, Sky UI, and then a separate one for the quick launch menu. You guys know that little quick launch menu for quickly selecting weapons?
Yeah, it's not the whole full height of the screen.
Don't look at my quick launch menu. I found a mod that increases it to be the full size of your resolution. So I have sets of armor and weapons on my no longer quick launch menu that is picked out of my 1400 weight inventory.
The quick launch phone book.
I use my massive medium launch menu now to dig through my massive inventory. It's a little bit faster, I guess.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm a special snowflake.
Keep us moving,
digital
Joel.
hoarders.
Joel, we need to film an episode of that at my house one day.
Oh, we do. We really need to do that.
We need to have like the closet set up with the confession camera. Like talk to the camera guy in the dark.
You're like wading through the piles.
Oh, before we end this podcast, I have to confess my loot room too, but I'll save that for later.
All right.
Run away. Okay, second question is, what is your biggest motivation for finishing a game that motivates you to actually finish?
All right, Chris.
This is something I was thinking about recently. I'd say for me, so much of it is kind of a loot-based mentality. It's either loot or the curiosity of a story. In games that the story isn't as strong, it's kind of hoping that I will become powerful, or hoping that I will find that one gun that's just going to make this so much fun, that kind of thing. That's where really
find that one gun that will fill that hole in your heart that can only be filled by like productive activities. Dave, what about you?
What drives me to actually complete a game?
Yeah, although your Steam history may not. I don't know if you have the credentials to answer this question, but
I do still complete games, but like I said, it's only the ones that I'm really excited to play. And occasionally I find a game, like I bought Hitman Absolution, which just fit my playstyle so well. There wasn't a whole lot of looting, but there was a lot of sneaking and being awesome. So I beat Hitman. But I think what drives me to be a completionist, not just to complete the game, but to complete basically everything in the game, is working on games myself. I kind of know like the amount of work that goes into detailing some of that stuff, and I actually feel a little bit guilty for not playing it all. Like, oh, I know you worked hard on this, but screw you, I'm too busy. I don't know. I feel like
I know I gave you $60, but I'm gonna feel guilty anyway.
So guilty.
Yeah, you've already given them your money. Why do you care?
I have Gamers Guild. But also the fact that a lot of times when I'm playing these games, I do some of these side quests. A good example is the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion, which was supposed to just be a side quest, and that was better than the main story. A lot of times I find stuff off to the side that's I enjoy more than like the core game itself. So it doesn't always happen, but it happens enough where I'm like, I gotta go back just to make sure. There might be cool stuff just around the corner. That's me, though.
James, how about you?
Well, I have 3 reasons for completing a game. Number 1, I want to trade it in before the value goes down. Number 2, I've rented it and I want to finish it before it goes back. I don't know. I think mostly like I just have this, and I think a lot of people have this internal desire to explore and have adventurous side that they can't necessarily just walk out of their neighborhood and start exploring through their neighbor's backyard, but you can do it in a game. So being able to explore every area, not having those limitations, I think kind of derives that just having that adventurous side. I really want to see what's over that horizon. Like Dave said, what's around that corner? if I look in this box, will I find something cool, or will I find another tin can? So.
That was really inspirational.
Yeah, that was going to make my answer seem a lot dumber. For me, the thing that'll get me to complete a game is the story. I care a lot more about the story now than I used to. Because like if the game mechanics are so awesome that I don't care about the story, I may not ever finish the game because I'll just get lost in doing whatever. Like Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Tales from Liberty City, whatever it's called. The standalone expansion. I have still never beaten it because I got caught up in doing all the turf wars and like everything like that, and I'm just having so much fun doing that I haven't even bothered to go back and finish the story. But then there are other games like Tomb Raider. I really liked the story, and Far Cry 3, I really liked the story, so I played all the way through those, but I wasn't really that motivated to go back and do all the side stuff because I didn't think the gameplay was that amazing. Except Far Cry 3, gameplay is pretty good. I'm actually going back and retaking all the outposts again for fun. But for me, it's all story.
Yeah, I think for me is story.
Or just skip Joy, fine, no big deal. I mean,
well, I'm like that's mine right here, and then she.
No.
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 Go ahead, Joy.
Okay. For me, I think it's a mixture of really like enjoying a game so much that I want to get the most out of it, because there's not always easy games out there that I can do well. And so there's that, and then I'm a perfectionist, so I just like seeing things finished, and like
it hurts you somewhere deep down inside. It hurts you if something's unfinished.
Yeah, especially if it's an easier game that I know I can finish, and it's like, oh, it's not that one little thing I have to find. Like I have to go find it.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever played the 2008 Prince of Persia?
I have not.
You might want to look into it. A lot of fans of the franchise got mad at them because they took the gameplay, which used to be really hardcore and fast-paced, and you died a lot, and they actually made it so you literally can't die in the game. But it still has all the awesome platforming and collecting, and there's like a bunch of different zones you can travel to and stuff, so it's still got a lot of fun gameplay, but there's like...
The platforming's actually easy.
The platforming's... But there's no risk, because you can experiment as much as you want. If you fall off, spoiler alert, someone like a magical hand lifts you back up onto the platform. Like, it's really... It made a lot of fans upset, but it made people who enjoyed just casually hopping around and having fun, they really liked it. So, I don't know. Might be worth looking into.
What I was going to say is the story has to be really, really good, and the gameplay. Like, almost either one. If the story is really good, I'll finish it if it just really grabs me. If the story's not very good, but the gameplay is really awesome, I'd still probably play it. I think that goes for like Far Cry 3. Like I thought the story was pretty weak. The start was pretty decent. The end was pretty bad, but the gameplay was a lot of fun, so I did finish it. I didn't go back and do all the rest of the stuff just because I'd just rather move on to another game because I already put in like 30 hours, I think, to play the game.
Right.
But a game I'm just quitting right now, and then I usually kind of question myself, like, should I keep playing this? Just why am I playing this? Is Dishonored. It's funny, I really enjoyed the game.
Really?
I enjoyed the game. I'm literally at the last, I think I'm at the last like 2 hours of the game maybe. I'm climbing up some castle or something.
Yeah, you're within the last couple hours.
But even just without playing the gameplay is just not really wowed me that much. Like the story is not that amazing. They're both just kind of decent. It's an easy game, but I don't know, after playing like Far Cry 3 and Assassin's Creed and stuff, it's just, I don't know, it hasn't, so I'm at the end, I'm like, oh, I should just finish it, but I'm like, why? I'm like, it's not really that fun. I'd rather just play Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah, I wasn't that blown away by Dishonored. Like, it was all good, but I agree with you. Like, it wasn't, I beat it because it wasn't that long, and I was enjoying the story decently, but I liked the world and everything. It felt like they had a lot going for them. They just didn't maybe flesh it out as much as they could have.
I felt kind of lied about that game, actually, because it looked like you were going to have like this huge city to explore and these giant like tripod things walking around, but it was really like super linear. Like
it was
like, yeah, I mean, it was
like Half-Life 2, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly, but it was like, I don't know, it felt bad because it was like, okay, do I either just sneak or do I run in? I'm like, well, sneaking takes like 5 extra hours to do it.
Yeah.
Ooh, really?
Yes, Dave. This game. Well, no, unless you upgrade your teleport all the way, and then you can just like bing around like instantly, blinking all over the place, stabbing people. I don't know what you would call it. You can blink, or it's called blink.
Do some Microsoft product placement on the podcast?
Oh,
how much are they paying you, Jeremiah? How much are they paying you?
These technical difficulties not brought to you by Skype, which is owned by Microsoft. Technical difficulties brought to you by Google.
Yeah, I would say looting doesn't really drive me to finish a game. I just do that because I'm psychologically disturbed, I suppose. But story's a big deal. I mean, if it's a game like Max Payne, which I haven't played yet, I have it, but it's really story driven, or a game that lets me kind of weave my own story. I was an English major in college, so story is really what captivates me and keeps me moving through a game.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I have a hard question. What compels you to finish a very crappy game? What crappy game have you played that you're just like, why am I still playing this, but I have to finish it?
Basically, you're asking us to walk down the Hall of Shame here. What?
Yes.
I think that's kind of like the questions that we've just been answering, and it's, our perfectionism, or like getting that ding, you've completed it,
Well, give us an example, though. Let's hear some
games. That
is
how some games end. That's frustrating.
Yeah, let's hear some games, though. Anyone have one to start us off with?
I'll start.
I
felt compelled to go through Rise of the Argonaut.
Rise of the Argonauts?
It was okay. Like, it was a little rough around the edges, but it had the Greek mythology going for it, and it did have some RPG elements where you had the story tree, and I just kept playing and kept playing and kept playing, and by golly, I finished.
I think for me,
I think it was probably Alpha Protocol. Alpha Protocol is not a good game.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know why people seem to like it. Like, people talk about liking it so much, and I owned a boxed copy years ago, and I beat it. Then I bought it again on Steam. For some reason, like I forgot how much I didn't like it, and got it again on Steam when it was like $1.
You buy anything on Steam?
Yeah. But anyway, the original game, like back when I had a box copy, I guess like 2008. I forget how old it is, but it just, like, there's a cool level up system, and it feels like you're going to be awesome, and then you spend the whole game not being awesome, and it's one of those games where the enemies are either incredibly smart or so stupid. So I'd spend some levels running around right behind people, just like kicking them all in the head, and then other levels I would just die over and over and over. So that game I was pretty ashamed of, but that was back when I was still pretty much finishing every game. And then the last one, most recent one I played all the way through, was Deus Ex Human Revolution. And Deus Ex Human Revolution is a great game, but the boss fights were contracted out to another company, and the boss fights take everything good about the game, throw it away, and then are terrible. I had to Google how to game the system to beat almost all of the boss fights because they didn't make any sense. So yeah, I didn't enjoy the boss fights. I loved the rest of the game though, so I made myself finish it even though the boss fights were terrible.
Yeah, I wish I could make myself. I got pretty far in it, but yeah, I got stuck and I was like, delete.
Sure.
Did you get stuck on a boss fight?
No, I think I killed the first boss, and then after that,
the first boss.
So he completed the tutorial.
Way to contribute, Joel.
Man, you really gave it a fair shake.
I was 10 hours, so screw y'all.
No, I don't blame you there. I mean, that's kind of my rule of thumb on a lot of this stuff is, play what you enjoy. I don't feel too bad about dropping a game if it spoils, like if the mechanics are bad or there's other things that I'd rather be playing. I'm not the kind of guy to suffer through things.
Oh man,
I think I've offended some people here.
You're in bad company here, Jeremy.
Skyrim's mechanics got boring to me. It feels like playing the same game as Oblivion. Like it feels like I'm doing the same stuff, just running around doing the same quests in a different place.
Out of curiosity, what was your character like?
My character. No one plays the Argonians.
My character, like as far as your loadout and your skills and all.
I'm trying to remember. I still have it installed. My character was an elf. I generally play as like an old grizzled elf who like uses dual blades and hacks people up. But then I accidentally was like in the Warriors Guild, and they were like, "Do you want to become a werewolf?" And I wasn't really listening when they were asking me questions. So then they turned me into a werewolf, and
that happens a lot. It's easy to ignore werewolf conversation.
I'm not enjoying being a werewolf.
That quest line was annoying.
But in general, I think I just enjoyed the quests in Oblivion more. Oblivion felt more epic. It felt like, I don't know. I just enjoyed it more.
I was just curious because I've heard that different characters can be more fun to play in Skyrim. I went with the ranger, and one thing I noticed from Oblivion was that the archery feels so much better in Skyrim.
It is. The combat is a lot better, but combat wasn't really why I played Oblivion to start with, so I don't really care if the combat's that much better. That wasn't why I was playing. I don't know. I mean, I might go back and finish it someday. I haven't deleted it. I still have plenty of space on my games hard drive.
You should try some mods to help spice it up a bit. There's plenty to choose from.
I've got a bunch of visual mods, and I've got some mods to bounce the game out, fix the UI, stuff like that. I'm running a bunch of mods. It makes the game really pretty, but it's just the core game itself. I don't know, it's fun, but I keep having these 10-hour games that are really fun that I want to play.
So, you enjoy the quest for collecting all the crimson roots in the underground?
No, I did not do that.
I don't know why I did it, but I was so bored. I was like, oh, I'll do it. I go down that little, that super awesome giant underground world area. I forget what it's called.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Hey, do you know what I'm talking about? That
he hasn't gotten that far.
No.
I don't know. I forget.
Don't name it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's a really cool underground area. This is a pretty good story. I've heard this one.
Spoilers.
But anyways, you collect all this. You have to collect 30 of these suckers. So I collected all of them except for one, and one was at the top of this waterfall. And I slipped into the waterfall, grabbed it, and then it just threw me off, and I landed on a rock and died. And I didn't have a save, for the last 2 hours.
Why not?
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Joel's never going back.
Why wouldn't you save?
I just didn't think about it. I usually only save when I walk in a door. Or actually, I don't even save. I just walk into a door or load into a new area, and it saves it for me.
Oh, man, I'm an obsessive saver.
Yeah, me too.
Were you playing on PC or on Xbox?
What's the game for you, Joy?
I don't think I've ever completed a game that I didn't like. I actually gave up on a game for once. That's impressive.
What game did you give up on?
I actually gave up on a Lego game, which is even more impressive. It was Star Wars Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I tried so hard, but I just did not like the gameplay of that one. It had so many battle scenes, but they weren't really battle scenes. It was kind of weird, and they all were exactly the same. So after you completed one level, the next level was exactly the same. I tried really hard just because I needed to say I did all the games, but then I was like, nope, I can't do this. It's too boring. So I did give up.
You should try Dark Souls. You might give up on that even quicker.
That's some great
friendly advice
right
from James. All right, Joel, I think we had one more question.
Yeah, let's see. No, I think that was it. That was 4 of them, I think.
No, there was a 4th one. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to let you
I had 4 of them, but I realized that one of them is kind of basically the same thing. I think we've already covered it.
Okay.
But I do have a 90-second segment.
Oh, man. Look who's greedy tonight. Okay.
I'm not greedy.
It's time for 90 Seconds to Joel, the part of the podcast where Joel talks about something for about 90 seconds. Joel, entertain us.
I wanted to mention there's a lot of shows ending soon. The Office, notably.
Tonight, actually.
Yeah, tonight.
We've missed it. It's done.
Watch it later without commercials.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, I just kind of want to mention that. It's 9 years of the show, and I mean, I kind of consider it ending after the 7th season after Michael Scott left, but we kind of stuck with it because it was Office, and it was one of the only shows we kind of...
No spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, I won't say anything.
Back to season what, Dave?
Last season.
God returns for the last episode, which I'm sure they will. He will. But they keep on teasing that he won't, but, I think he will.
By the time this is published, everyone will know if he was in there, so... If he was not, he was on like a fool.
Actually, right now it's on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody have any shows that are coming to an end that are...
Breaking Bad has 8 more episodes, and I am excited. And Dexter, after going through a couple crummy seasons, their last season, they pretty much went for all the marbles. And I'm really excited to see what they do with the last season, because they kind of went from settling into, hey, we're popular and we'll never go off the air, to what happens if we flip everything on its head. And it was actually really, really awesome. So I'm hoping The end of that's going to be really good. What other shows are ending?
See, I'm still bitter about Firefly, so.
There it goes.
Did you guys watch Jericho?
Actually,
Jericho, yeah.
That was a bittersweet ending.
Hope and I just started watching Jericho on Dave's recommendation. This is a show that I'm watching just because of the story, not because of the acting. Because it gets
better.
Much.
It does get better.
It does get better, and you're like, holy crap.
Does the main character always look like he's taking a dump?
Yes.
He looks like
they only shoot him from the waist up.
They look like he's always either taking a dump or falling asleep. Like, I can't tell.
I think it's the eyelids. He looks a bit out of it.
He looks concerned all the time, too.
Well, I mean, it is an apocalypse.
But not everyone else is concerned. Okay, we're 4 episodes in. Why is everyone hanging out at the bar? Like, shouldn't there be something productive everyone could be doing in this town?
Yeah, they're forgetting the worries, Jeremiah. Once again, it's the apocalypse.
Anyway.
Yeah, the acting does get better. I will warn you, though, that the second season was the one after it was canceled for like 2 years, and they brought it back and then had to wrap up basically what was left of the show in like 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. And they had it written out for like an entire couple of seasons, and so it's really, really cram-packed. It's enjoyable, but you can tell it's one of those things where like if it just had been given some more time, some more budget, it could have been so much better.
Is the second season only 6 episodes?
It's maybe 7. It's
really
short,
abbreviated, no matter what it is.
Oh, well, we're enjoying it enough so far. So
it's like a third of the size of what it was supposed to be.
Right.
You know, another thing, how you guys liking all the new shows that are coming on, like, you know, Netflix, and now Amazon trying to do?
I haven't watched any of Amazon's. We watched House of Cards, which was excellent.
I haven't finished it. I'm like 6 episodes in. I love that show.
And then my wife started watching Hemlock Grove and said it was terrible.
That has like a hand coming out of a wolf's mouth. Not sure why you want to watch that. Or maybe that's exactly why you want to watch it.
Why wouldn't you want to watch that?
Arrested Development coming out the 26th.
I'm so excited.
I'm tentatively excited. We'll see. It's been almost 10 years. Let's see if they, if they still got it.
Hey, brother. We've actually been watching some of the older seasons for like the 9th time. We've watched all of them so many times now.
Oh, yeah.
Each time you watch it, you see more.
They released a clip from one of the new episodes, too. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
How do you guys feel in general about shows that leave and come back? Like 24's coming back.
I stopped. Okay, for fans of 24, go look up the series Strike Back. It's a British show that it was on Sky TV, and then Cinemax picked it up, but I think they only picked it up for Britain. It's like 24, but good. Take all the good
so
parts
to all
of
the fans of 24, he just pissed you off.
You can email your thoughts too.
Take all the fun bits.
JERMgaming at
JERMgaming on Twitter. So you take all the fun bits of 24, all the good stuff, and cram it into like a 7-episode season or an 8-episode season, and it's really enjoyable. So anyway, Strike Back for fans.
There's only one more episode coming back. And it's going to just basically sum up all the characters and just...
For 24?
No. It's another very special show to my heart. IT Crowd. They're getting ready to film the last... It's going to be an hour-long episode, and it's going to wrap all the characters up. And that's a very sad show to have end, because they only made like 6 episodes per season, but they were glorious. I think it has to be... It's right up there with one of my top favorite comedy shows, definitely of all times. It is just hilarious. And that's going to be awesome and sad, but very excited to see Moss and Roy again.
Mm-hmm. I think the perfect example of a show that went just long enough and then ended, well, there's 2. The first is The Wire. The Wire, I mean, of course, you'll see enough people telling you that it's like one of the best TV shows ever made, so you don't need me saying it again. The Wire is awesome, but it takes a couple watches to appreciate it, but it went for 5 seasons and it ended perfectly. And then Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica pretty much did a hard burn for 4 seasons and then just ended. And I actually liked the ending. It didn't bother me nearly as much as I guess it seemed to bother a lot of people.
Don't spoil it. I haven't watched the ending yet. I'm 8 episodes away.
Okay. I mean, I liked the ending of Lost. I didn't like the 20 episodes before it or the season before that. But
that's funny. I felt like Lost went 1 episode too long.
I feel like it went 2 seasons too long. Hope and I, like, midway through season 6, we honestly, like, it felt like work. It felt like when you guys are talking about games you only finish just to say you did. We felt like we have to keep. I don't want to. This is just, it's so bad.
That would explain my entire experience with Smallville.
I gave up after season.
And it's pretty 3. Terrible, but it was Superman. So.
All right, so I think that's been 90 seconds with Joel. Does anyone have any more segments they'd like to talk about? Anything you want to talk about before we go?
Should I confess my loot room at this point?
Go ahead and confess your loot room. I got to bring something up we got to do before we end. But yeah, go ahead and start talking about your loot room.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. But just basically, my console commands were not enough to handle my loot problem. Even at 1400 weight, at some point I realized that I just had too many like gold bars, just weird stuff I didn't really need to have with me. So I went back to my house, and Whiterun is the main that first main city, right?
Yep.
Where you get Lydia. Yeah. So there's like a servant's room upstairs at the house you have in Whiterun. A pretty good sized room with some tables and chairs and all. And I'm like, Lydia doesn't actually use this room. I'll just dump some extra gear here. So I spent about a half an hour going through my inventory, right-clicking on things, and then I pressed tab to close my inventory, and the game froze for about 2.5 minutes or so, and then a fountain of glorious loot exploded all over the room. It coated the tables, the chairs, the bed. I'm talking like a couple hundred rubies and diamonds, just stuff everywhere. And once the game stopped lagging and the FPS caught up, it just kind of piled in the corners and up on top of all the furniture. And now, when you go into my house, if you go upstairs to the room and open the door actually swings into the piles of loot and flings it everywhere again. So I just have this giant room where occasionally I'll just go back to Whiterun and just fling the doors open and just like dance in the piles of loot briefly. I'm never going to use any of it. It's just there lagging my game, but it's kind of glorious, actually.
And, good thing houses are separate instances.
Yeah.
But I love that you actually chose a room that character doesn't use. I just walked in the house and dropped it right off the carpet.
Usually in Elder Scrolls games, I just find a big house and then kill the owner, and that's what I use for all my loot. Buying houses is for suckers.
I had a little public service announcement. If you are planning on playing Elder Scrolls online, please find Dave's house and loot.
No! Back off,
Find the dwelling place of Dave. You will have endless cash flow.
All right, before we go, we did a thing last time where we said we'll choose randomly from someone who goes and writes a review on iTunes of the podcast, whether a 1-star or 5-star. We would give you a copy of Mass Effect 2 for Origin. So we had someone write a review, One Call System. He wrote the review. His review is, I'm digging the casts from these guys. They play an assortment of shooters and have entertaining commentary on them as such. They also cover technical issues such as building your own PC. Highly recommended in doing so. And overall, good coverage of the games they play, which is BF3, DayZ, and Arma. The only downside is they don't cover my favorite shooter, Red Orchestra 2.
Yet.
Okay, yet, apparently.
So played it, so...
Thank you for rating it, and everyone who's listening. If you would, go to iTunes and write a review. We'll give games away periodically to people who write reviews. Whether it's a 1-star or 5-star, you are equally eligible to win. But One Call System, get in contact with me at JERMgaming on Twitter. Or via some other method. I mean, you know how to get in contact with us. And I will give you your code for Mass Effect 2, unless you randomly wrote a review and did not actually listen to that part of the podcast, in which case you won't get this. I'll give you a week to contact me. And if you haven't contacted me, then we'll just move on to someone else. But anyway, follow us on Twitter at JERMgaming, at Evil Viking, at Casual Shenanigans. Does anyone else have a Twitter they'd like to throw out there? Okay, no one else has a Twitter they would like to throw out there. That's fine. Oh yeah, what is it? You guys should definitely go check it out.
It's pretty exciting.
My interest in Battlefield had been waning some, but Joel has revived it. I feel like I can do anything now. So you should go watch it. Go subscribe to Joel. I did.
I love the random jet lawn dart when you're like giving scope commentary and this jet just lawn darts like 100 yards away from you, just smack right into the ground. Classic.
Yep, go check Joel out, Boundless MP on YouTube. Check Dave out, Evil Viking 13. Check me out, JERMgaming. Although if you're watching this, you are already on my channel. But thank you everybody for joining us. As always, if you have questions, send them into casualshenanigans@gmail.com to be a part of the show, and we will see you all next time. So bye, everybody.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.